I've been doing a lot of Kriya Yoga lately, and it has completely increased my awareness to the point that when I'm out and about in the real world, like driving or at my job, I've become so aware of the energy leakage that's going on in my body. This can manifest in the forms of anxiety, depression, being irritated, just all these feelings of reactivity when out in the world. And I've been struggling a lot with anxiety, and I used to struggle with depression, but not so much anymore. I'm quite pleased to say that. The anxiety is still hanging on. It's improved a lot, which is the reason I'm on here. I just want to tell you what I've been doing lately to manage my anxiety that has completely helped a lot. And so, number one, Kriya Yoga has totally changed my life in terms of how I react to situations, things, events. I am much less reactive, which is a wonderful tool for getting my emotions under control. Because really, anxiety is just like not having your emotions in check. So I've become aware lately, especially the last month, that my anxiety is leaking energy out of my body. So I wanted to use this video as like part B to follow up on the other video I just released about how I naturally manage my anxiety. Just go check that video out. It's just a couple videos before this, so you know what I'm talking about. If you want, say like I'm working with someone on the job, and like this lady, she totally knows the hot button to push. She knows, or subconsciously knows, what is gonna piss me off, what's gonna create anxiety, what's going to cause my energy to leak. So, of course, I'm interacting with this evil woman, and then I get really mad, and I have to act appropriately so I don't respond to her the way I really want to, which would be to yell at her and scream at her and tell her how stupid she is and what the F is she doing talking to me like that, and whack her on the side of the head. That's what I want to do, but I don't do that. I control myself, but I still feel these horrible feelings inside of me pouring out with anger, anxiety. I react. She hits my hot button, and I hate feeling that way at work. What I've come to realize is that when she hits my hot button, energy is physically released into my body. I feel it in my stomach. I feel it in my heart. I feel my blood pressure going up. I feel the energy literally leaking out of my body. This is something that I will no longer accept in my life. When I'm out driving, for example, I have always had anxiety since my car accident. Sort of like a post-traumatic stress disorder thing. Anyone tailgating me, cutting me off, honking because I didn't turn the second that the light turned green, all of that kind of stuff. I have always had anxiety on the road. And now I'm realizing when I'm out driving, I'm leaking my energy. And this anxiety driving on the road is energy leakage, and I'm getting really tired of it. I realize when I go to the grocery store dealing with people waiting in line, I get impatient. I start getting anxiety. I start getting irritated with the people in my way, or I'm leaking energy. And I never realized this before, that I am leaking energy out into the matrix. I have become hyper aware that all of my reactive emotions is energy leakage. into the matrix that we all live in. And as some of you may believe and be aware of, the world that we live in is set up as a matrix, basically to feed off of the energy that we're leaking. It's set up so that if we are producing fear, anger, grief, those kinds of negative, low vibrational frequencies, when we emit that vibrational state into the matrix, entities, also known as archons or demons or just lower vibrational beings, they will feed off of that. That's how they get their food. That's how they survive. They feed off of the divine spark that is inside of us. They're counting on us to be angry. They're counting on us to be afraid. They're counting on us to have anxiety, to have depression, to feel guilty, to have remorse, to be really sad, to be full of grief. All of these low vibrational frequencies, they are counting on us to leak that out into the matrix so they can feed off of us. I was not aware of any of this before. I never even thought of it that way. And the more I do Kriya Yoga, the more my awareness increases of actually what's going on. I will not have it anymore. I want to keep my energy. I don't want to be leaking my energy into the matrix anymore. I don't want them to be feeding off of my energy. No wonder I've been so exhausted when I come home from work every day, or even going to the grocery store or driving. Why it freaks me out, because I'm leaking all of my prana, all of my energy into the matrix. And I've been doing this forever, and I can't believe that I just never thought of controlling it. I used to take pain pills years ago for work, which helped to just numb me, and I wouldn't be, maybe I was leaking energy into the matrix, but at least I didn't perceive that I was, because the pain pills just covered it up. And but now I don't take those pain pills anymore, and I've been doing lots of yoga, and I can just feel my reactivity. That energy is formed in my body, and it leaks out. It leaks out of my heart, and it leaks out of my solar plexus. And no wonder it makes me feel so bad. No wonder my energy is so drained. It's kind of insane, actually, at how real this stuff is. I just wanted to share a technique that I do that helps me to take that energy and harness it and bring it back into myself, and to quit leaking it out into the matrix. Because when I'm anxious or angry or having some emotion that I don't want to be having, when I have that emotion, it's leaking energy out into the matrix. There's a technique that I do. It's all mental. Now, doing Kriya Yoga dramatically improves my skill with this, because Kriya Yoga rotates your awareness through your spine, through the chakras, through the spinal centers, with the breath. So my consciousness is very used to focusing on my spine. So I have quite good awareness now of all the energy centers in my spine, and I'm used to thinking about them. I'm used to focusing on them. I'm used to meditating on them. So this helps me with my conscious perception of my spine, period, which is great. But this is what I do. So like, I get pissed off at work, someone hits my hot button, then I realize I am having energy production in my heart and in my solar plexus, and it's leaking out in the form of anxiety, and that's not cool. And so I have become aware that I'm leaking this energy out into the matrix. So I'll get anxious, I'll get nervous before I deal with somebody at work, because I really hate my job and I can't wait to get out of it. Anyway, I just have tons of anxiety there, dread, and then sometimes people just, they make me so angry and I can't react. I could, but I risk losing my job. Obviously, you have to control yourself in public. That's the socially appropriate thing to do, right? So anyway, when someone hits my hot button and I'm pissed off, I recognize where the energy is in my body, like it's coming out of my heart, it's coming out of my solar plexus. I consciously put my attention on the energy. Like, for example, I'll just feel it. I put my awareness and my attention on that energy in my chest and in my solar plexus. I feel the energy in my mind. I'm aware of that energy. And mentally, I take that energy that just leaked out of my heart and my solar plexus. I take it and I mentally draw it back into my spine. I pull it literally back into my spinal column, the entire spinal column. When I draw it back in, I take the energy back. I don't let it go. I don't give it away. I don't let it leak into the matrix for entities to feed off of. I take the energy back for myself. I draw it back into my spine, and then I do the technique that I talked about in the other video where I naturally manage my anxiety. But I noticed initially when someone hits my hot button, I freak out. Something has to be done instantaneously, immediately in the moment. Something has to be done. And so when I react with my anxiety, I immediately catch it and pull it back into the spine. Then I'll drop it down and ground it like I talked about in the other video. But there has to be a stage, like this immediate reactive animal stage, that has to happen. Like, and this is so important. So like the moment I notice my anxiety get produced, I feel it in my chest, I feel it in my stomach, I draw it back into my spine mentally, and I imagine all that energy getting concentrated and placed into my spinal column from my third eye down to the root chakra. And then just by definition, the spinal column intelligence is so good that it will transmute the energy back into something neutral, or to preserve the energy for things that you want to use it for. So it's like, it's kind of like driving your car around with the gas cap off, and like a hole in your gas tank. Why would you do that? Why would you let all the gasoline in your car leak out all over the road? Why would you do that? It's expensive. It's wasting energy. It's polluting the environment. It's the same thing with your energy in your body. Why are you leaking it out for the entities, as the matrix has been designed to suck off of you? Why are we doing that? Why was I never aware of this before? So don't let your energy go. Keep your energy for yourself. Get your emotions under control. You don't have to be a victim of your emotions. You can tell your emotions what to do. If you don't want to be feeling anxious, if you don't want to be depressed, consciously feel that energy that just got leaked out. All that energy, that bad energy you're feeling and you don't want. Don't let it leak out of you. Hold it in your mind, feel it, and pull it back into your spine and place it there. Place it back into your spine. The spine is intelligent. It will transmute the energy and it will neutralize it. It neutralizes the energy. Why do you want to be reactive? Why do you want to give your power away to someone you don't even want to give your power to anyway? If they piss you off, they win. They get your energy or the entity that is attached to that person. And let me tell you, there are many people with entities sucking off of them 24/7 attachments. So I'm not saying that the person is a demon or whatever, but there are beings that attach to humans to feed off of them. These kind of entities you cannot reason with, you can't feel sorry for them, you can't rationalize with them, you cannot send them love because that is not their program. It just isn't. You're going to be wasting your prana if you send them love. And this is why. If you're gardening, and for example, I have a garden out there and I grow kale. I am an organic gardener, and there are these little worms that love to come and eat holes in my kale. They just do. That's what they do. Now, if I don't go and get my garlic and cayenne pepper spray, because I don't believe in chemical pesticides, if I don't go and spray my kale with the garlic and pepper to repel these worms, they're going to come and eat my kale. Period. That's just what they do. The worms eat my kale. But if I use a defense mechanism, like my little spray with garlic and cayenne, they won't come. It just prevents them from coming. And these psychic measures, this psychic pulling in of the energy that we're leaking out, this is a way to prevent the maggots from coming and sucking off of us. So the entities are like the worms, basically. They feed off of our low vibrational energy, period. When we leak it out of our heart, when we leak it out of our solar plexus, they feed on it because you're letting it go, because you're not aware that you're leaking it out. When you feel anxious, when you feel angry, when you have depression, when you're sad, you're crying all the time, and the world is such a horrible place. They love that, and you're leaking it out, and they're feeding off of you. So I highly recommend being aware of the energy, locating it in your body, pulling it consciously back into your spine. And it's not like once you do it, you're fixed. You have to keep doing it. It's an exercise. You get stronger, like weightlifting. You don't build muscles in one day. You have to keep doing it. Don't think you do it once and, oh, I'm fixed. Oh, why do I feel sad again? No, you have to keep doing it. 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 And then you feel anxiety again. Nope, I'm going to keep doing it. It is a discipline. It is a practice. It is a tool. And you have to get really good at it. So I spent probably like a good 15 minutes. This lady was really trying to suck the prana out of me. But this time I caught it. I caught what was going on. And I kept having to take my anger and anxiety, pull it back in the spine. And she'd keep pressing my button. But I'd pull it back in the spine. She'd keep hitting my button. And I'd keep pulling it back in my spine. Eventually, and then I realized when I pulled the energy back into my spine, the anxiety was gone. The anger was gone. It was just neutralized. It was just gone. There was no emotion. There was no reactivity. I pulled all the energy back in for myself. She finally calmed down, which was kind of interesting to observe. And she just pretty much, she settled down into this calm, almost like she had nothing more to fight because I wasn't giving my energy away. And my sense is that she is definitely possessed by entities that are feeding off of her. She's just a very low vibrational, negative energy kind of person. She's so sweet, actually. Deep down, I can totally tell who she is in her soul. She's so kind and deep down. But when she is under attack and they want to feed, I think they're wrapped around her. And they've infiltrated her consciousness to the point that they can make her really irritable. I think they can affect her physical body, which will make her behavior change. But I can always tell now when that's happening. And they just stop trying. Because when they're trying to elicit a response from us, that takes energy from them as well. So it's this psychic warfare that we are dealing with. And I have a very, very, very high ability to perceive things through feeling. I feel everything, and I'm very thankful for this gift because I can now tell when stuff is going on, and I can sense people's responses, in relationship to the energy going around. And so it's been really helpful. I have obviously a long way to go in my spiritual path, but I'm so happy that I have found this technique. I take the energy, pull it back into my spine. And what I mean by the energy is the energy of anxiety, the energy of anger, the energy of depression. It's actually just energy. And you're feeling it and experiencing it. You think that's you, but it's not. It's just energy. So I'm just thankful to have this ability to perceive the energy, pull it back in the spine where it will be transmuted, and then I'll go and ground it down into the root chakra and ground it down into the center of the earth, just to neutralize it and to keep my own energy. Why would I leak energy? Why are we doing that? Why are we feeding the matrix? Why don't we use the energy for ourselves to do things that we want to do? This tool has been extremely helpful. We need to take back our own power. We need to stop giving our energy away to the matrix and to whatever is in the matrix that is using our energy. We are divine beings. We are full of God consciousness. We are full of extreme nuclear energy, power, potential. And when we leak it out, we feed the system of the matrix. Why would we do that? So we do ourselves justice when we're aware of our emotions. And I'm not demonizing pills or anything that helps deal with anxiety, but if we just pop a pill, we have no responsibility for our own emotions. They can still feed off of us. That's fine. If you need to take your pharmaceutical medication to manage your anxiety, do so under your doctor's order. That's fine. However, don't rely exclusively on your medications or herbs or whatever you're taking to manage your anxiety. You need to put your consciousness, use your brain power. You have control over your own energy, and it is an exercise. It is a skill. It is a tool. You are the king of your body. The emotions are not the king of you. You rule them. You choose what emotions you want to feel. If you don't like the emotion you're having, you take it in your mind, you feel where it is in your body, you pull it back into your spine where it will be transmuted and transformed into neutralized energy that you can then use for what you want in your life. So this is something that's really helped me so much in the last month, to be aware of the psychic warfare going on around us. Very, very real. If you don't believe in it, then why are we so full of anxiety? Why are we so full of depression? And we don't know why, why am I feeling all of these emotions? Yes, there are biological factors. So let's keep our energy. Let's stop leaking into the matrix. Let's empower ourselves. Let's take responsibility for our emotions. Let's choose the emotions that we want. And let's keep practicing. Let's not give up just because it's difficult to harness your emotions and pull them back in. Let's keep trying. Let's not give up. Let's take control of ourselves instead of letting the matrix take control of us. It's not worth it. It's totally not worth it. We either have the choice of continuing to suffer with these adverse emotions, or we have the choice to do something about it. There is nothing more powerful than our own consciousness and awareness. If we are aware of what is going on, we can do something about it. We don't just rely on a pill. We take control of it through our awareness and consciousness of our energy. I personally highly recommend starting the practice of Kriya Yoga to be able to pull the energy back into your spine, to teach you how to not be reactive, to decrease depression, to decrease anxiety, to increase awareness, to increase intelligence, to increase spontaneous joy for no reason. It's amazing. The choice is yours, of course. If Kriya Yoga is too difficult for you, I get it. It's martial arts of the soul. I know it's extreme discipline to do it, but at least, hopefully, this little technique that I told you can help you when you're out and about, because it really, really helps me a lot. And my life is changing quickly. I'm just not tolerating stuff anymore. I'm also getting more courage and assertiveness to tell people, this is unacceptable behavior. As long as it's truth-based and coming from a deep state of love, then I feel justified in my actions. So that is that. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for all of you who subscribe, for your support, and all the thumbs up you've given me. It makes my day. So have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we will chat soon.
Bombs are still flying, more people still dying, with no one's soul to spare. I've had a long day, I got bills to pay, as I skim through the paper in my favorite chair. On page 18, there's a paragraph about a war that will never end. The television hides all the body bags as talking heads try to suspend my disbelief